Hey everybody, I'm Tim and welcome to the Cigars Daily Live, coming to you from sunny Phoenix, Arizona, with one hell of an episode tonight. We are digging into some of the brand new art coming out of Nicaragua as the new PCA cigars are kind of making their way out there into the world. We've got some very special...
We have an echo.
An echo?
Who's echoing?
You are. Because you're the only one talking.
That's because we got to turn that off. There we go. Did I not do something right? Did I not click the right button?
Probably. All those got to be off. Tim's mic working. Is it working now? There should be no echo now. Better. Okay. Thank you, Corey B. I appreciate it. We're going to take sounds better. That was, now listen, that happened because right before the show, I was in my office on my laptop and Terrence was in here and we were talking to each other through StreamYard. So, Terrence, we screwed up the beginning of the show together.
You know what? It's all about the screw-ups that we make along the way.
That's the spirit. That's what I'm talking about.
It's about doing them together.
Now, listen.
Yeah, let's keep doing it together.
Nope.
Tim.
Nurse Dave's Shaving World says, sexy and smooth, Tim. Thank you. I'll always take comments that accuse me of being sexy. Here's what's going on tonight. We are talking about cigars that are releasing themselves into the wild after the PCA, some brand new, very artistic projects and what goes into those projects. And so I want to share with you tonight the only cigar. There it is. The only cigar to hat has the soul
Tim,
of the sky. I fixed the thumbnail, but I didn't fix this monster right here.
As long as it starts and ends with the right letter, most people can figure it out.
I know they wouldn't have even noticed, but I pointed it out. Listen, this is all about Plasencia's brand new project, the Alma del Cielo, which means the soul of the sky, because Plasencia has been cultivating a high altitude crop of leaf for this Alma del Cielo. Very interesting project that I don't think has been done before ever. And so we're going to talk about that. We have, as they say, Tat Cigar around the studio tonight. Thank you, Sean. Sorry, I'm going to stop touching it, Billy. And of course, everybody's going to give insight into what the experience is like with this thing. But of course, my name is Tim. I'm the host of this show, and all of you watching at home, you are the co-host. Your comments and questions will drive this episode, so drop them down below because we're going to take them all the way up throughout the show. We have a ton to do tonight, but of course, the show doesn't run all on its own. In order for the show to be successful or a pure mistake, I need the help of other people to create this disaster. Sitting behind the camera is Billy, the cock of the wall.
You look surprised every time the camera cuts to you. Like,
You know, Tim's got his, and you've got your El Rey cool guy.
Yeah.
you-
So
you-
what does Billy have?
What I got to do?
Just
Just put your hat on and
cluck.
cluck like a chicken.
Yeah. You can there's a lot of stuff you can do.
Wait,
The
that's
cock of the walk
copyright. You can't
kinda
sing
like-
that no more.
I didn't finish it.
All right. And sitting next to him is El Rey del Terrence.
that's cool. I'm just over here.
You got. Have you ever seen Arrested Development? They got the chicken.
Yeah.
Billy, let me just tell you something. If you wanted it to go better, you should have gotten into something cooler than chickens. But now you're in a chicken, so this is what you got, bro.
This is what I got.
All right.
This with
And of course, sitting in the
Chicken
corner
juice.
watching us with anticipation and sweaty palms is Ryan, defender of the flat earth. And joining us tonight for this episode is the Cigars Daily Live studio audience. All right, I want to talk to you at home who are watching this with your comments and questions. Billy's picking the best ones. We have a tremendous amount to do during this episode, but we need to start off with where y'all are at. Billy, how are our fine people doing tonight?
We got a first timer.
A first timer. Oh, dear
Nice.
God. The Eagle Project. Hey, I got my first cigar, a Cuban Cohiba. Any tips?
Oh, Billy. Oh, Billy. Why would you set him up like this?
We've got multiple first timers.
Okay, guys.
Listen, but we don't judge.
Listen. Throw it in the trash. I'm just kidding. So Cuban cigars get a bad rap. And a lot of people, and you're going to see some of this popping up in the comments. You can see some of this popping up in the comments. But a lot of this stuff is, go for it. Go grab some of those, Billy, and read them.
This is from 5.3 Pachyderm. Let him down easy. Be
Okay.
nice to him.
Okay.
Chris Krim says that's a shame. Corey B, he says burn it. You might as well just do it.
That's
So
fair. That's fair.
this is the issue with somebody said CD Plus is not working. Well, it's fixed. So whatever it wasn't working is now working.
It's one of them days tonight, Tim.
Oh, bro, we haven't even gotten into the stuff yet. Cuban cigars get a bad rap from a lot of people because people say the quality control isn't there. It's a communist product. Yeah. They all want to complain about something, right? But the truth is, the difficulty with Cuban cigars is for anyone being able to get their hands on the real deal, the real McCoy, because most of the Cubans out there in the market, dare I say, are fake, especially in the American market, because they're illegal to buy or sell in the United States. And so fake ones tend to make their way into the United States, while the real ones go to other parts of the world, namely everywhere in the world except the United States. And so if there's a cigar in the humidor that says Havana, Cuba on it, you got to ask, what are the odds that this is real? And really the best way to tell is, was it acquired at, or did someone who got it get it from the Cohiba factory in Cuba? Because there's actually a lot of fake Cuban cigars in Cuba. Even it's one of the number one places to find those fake Cubans. And so I'll tell you this, as far as having a Cuban cigar, like, listen, cigars are meant to be a relaxation tool. So if you're like excited about it, relax, it'll be fine. But if you go into, but you don't do, here's my one tip on your Cuban Cohiba. Do not post a picture of it on Facebook.
Nope.
That's the only thing. If you can avoid doing that, you'll probably be fine.
There you go.
Oh, there we go, Billy. That was a good one.
The plausible
How
deniability.
could you throw that
of
guy
it.
in the deep end like that quick in the episode?
You know, it's that show tonight. We're just going to hit it hard.
We're going to hit it
'Cause it could
hard.
be the last. I'm just saying.
Don't you
I-
wish that evil upon me, Ricky Bobby?
What else you got, Billy? Get us the next one. This one's from Janney H. He says, what's the deal with Culebra cigars? Are they something I should be able to find at my local B&M? I don't think I've ever seen them in person before at my tobacconist. Culebra cigars. Let me see. Do I have one, Terry?
Yeah, up in the upper right hand.
Yeah, it
you
should be
do.
top right. While he's getting that,
Calibris translates to snake, correct?
I thought serpiente was snake.
Oh, is it just the island then?
No, they were made like Cuba. Ain't that the island you're thinking of? Are you trying to braid it back together?
Yeah, I'm trying to braid it back together.
He's
I
trying
mean,
to put
there's
Humpty
kind of
Dumpty
like
back
a-
together.
So this is the idea. It's a three braided cigars together. Now, here's the deal. Back in the day, you would have people working in a cigar factory, and you might have Margarita. She works in the factory, and she's the only person in the family that's got that full-time factory job. And they would let the factory workers take home one cigar per day. It's sort of like here you go. Now, if Margarita would go home and give the cigar to her husband, he could enjoy the cigar. She's provided for her family, and she gets to give a gift to the family member. Now, this is great, except for the fact that in a lot of these Latin American families, there were multi-generational households. You know, Margarita lived with her husband, and her parents still lived there at home, and maybe even her brother lived there. And so she's got three guys that she wants to be able to sit down and enjoy a cigar together. And the story goes that these Culebras, these three-piece cigars, were born out of that. They would basically take, and instead of rolling one cigar, they'd take the tobacco from the one cigar. This looks not how it's supposed to look because it's not really correct. But they would take these and they would braid three cigars together that were sort of the same density of one cigar and then take them home. That actually somehow looks worse. And then they would divide those among the men of the house. Culebra cigars are not regular production cigars for almost anyone. They're odd shaped as all get out. You end up with a cigar that looks like a corkscrew, and you know, I would say that you find them as mostly now like an event thing or a novelty item. You know, Drew Estate makes the Medusa. Like there's a few of them that are out there, but this is not something you should be expecting to walk into a local purveyor or a brick and mortar and just see sitting on the shelf there. And if you like, if the goal for a cigar aficionado is to find that peak experience of a cigar, there's not a Culebra out there that's going to do that. Like there's not a Culebra that's going to be super consistent, very complex, have a depth of flavor. It's just interesting and odd and a fun thing to get for somebody that's got like a brother and a dad that they want to share a memory with or something like that. Anything to add to that? Am I?
You're hitting the nail pretty much on the head right there. I can agree to that. Like I've had Culebras and I was like, I wish this was a Toro. Like I just, I wish it was a regular size because it just felt the ash, which I will have to knock Lanceros real quick. The ash lasts for like a quarter or half of an inch and then it ends up in your lap. And so with the Culebra where it's all crooked, the ash is basically similar to that. So I would rather just have a regular size Robusto Toro, maybe even a Corona Lonsdale thing that I can smoke and enjoy because holding a weird corkscrew cigar just doesn't feel as good in the hands.
Janney H also says, how does the individual cigar in a Culebra smoke given its wild shape? Truthfully, I haven't really gone through a lot of them. This is going to shock you. But when I sit down, it's typically not a Culebra that I'm lighting up. I would have to imagine not great. I mean, the problem is you get a bad burn on a cigar if they're box pressed or if it's like a figurado, like the burn is potential. If it's the shape of an elephant dong, like it's a corkscrew, it's a pigtail. What is it? Why did my mind go there first?
Corkscrew?
Did you know that was their shape?
I thought it was just ducks.
Is it ducks?
It is ducks.
Am I getting elephants and ducks confused again?
Dang it.
Oh, shoot. I always do that.
Glad you
Allison,
don't own
we
a
gotta
farm
go over
or a
animals.
zoo.
Also, we'll get the little thing where you pull the cord and it like
The
spins
CSA?
Yeah. Duck
Did
says
not have one of those as a
quack.
child.
So what you're saying is there was a lot of things I could have gone to before elephant penis.
Oh gosh,
That was probably
when
too
you
quick.
say it like that, yes.
Huh. All right. Well, somebody will look that up in the comments
my
and let me know for sure.
Oh,
Listen, y'all came for an education, and so did I. Clearly. All right, let's keep cruising. There's a lot to talk about on tonight's show. Drop your comments and questions. A few people, by the way, thank you, Jeff Mefford, is on Rumble. Says it's pigs.
I think ducks also have a corkscrewy.
I think pigs just have
Yeah.
the corkscrew tail, but
Yeah, also on Rumble, Josh says ducks. So
I'm going to try and turn the tide of this episode
Oh,
and where it's going.
yeah, we'll go ahead and take
So
and read the next comment.
We're going
from
to
me,
go
if you
sentimental here.
okay.
This is from Jonathan Edwards, which is
Wow.
kind of weird.
will. That is weird.
I'm 61, so it's not our
Not that
John.
Jonathan Edwards.
Yep. I've never met my father until this past weekend. He is 80. We shared a cigar together in Tennessee. He asked me if I ever listened to Tim Cigars Daily. I cried, 2 old men, 2 cigars, and Tim.
That is like,
Bro, let's
Whoa.
just break this down for 10 seconds, okay? Jonathan Edwards is 61 years old, which is amazing. His dad is 80. I've never met my father until this past weekend. I got to tell you, the backstory to that has got to be worth a cigar in itself. Like, just sit down and tell me that story. Unless they were just like, no, we were both on like this app and we found each other and then we just got together.
findmydaddy.com.
Not that app.
I'm not going to say anything.
Serious,
Listen, I'm not saying anything after that. 3 jokes popped into my head. All 3 of them would get the show canceled. We shared a cigar together in Tennessee. He asked me if I ever listened to Tim Cigars Daily. I cried, which I have to assume means that he had listened to it before. And they shared a cigar together. Just so you know, I wish my dad would share a cigar with me, and I'll never get that opportunity. And I'm so glad that you met your dad and got to have that opportunity. He's 80 years old. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Got to share a cigar with his dad. That's a huge win. Thank you, Billy. You've redeemed the episode. We're back on track. Yep. Dirty Bird Bill says, mine out of the gutter. You got that mine out of the gutter now. All right, let's keep cruising. I've got a lot to take you guys through. Keep dropping your cigar comments and questions down below. Billy's going to take the best ones, and we're going to jump into a segment we do from time to time on this show called the headlines. These are Cigars Daily headlines. Here's what's happening in cigars today. There's really quite a bit going on, and I'm going to keep you guys abreast of the situation. So first thing is first. This is all from Half Wheel, and the number one is survey says nearly half of companies say they will increase prices if tariffs stay. I wanted to give you all a brief update on what's happening with the tariffs and how they seem like they may impact premium cigars. As of this point, 3 cigar makers have said tariffs are coming. I think this is the one where nobody really wanted to be the first out the gate and say, here's how we're going to do this. But Perdomo has. They've said a quarter, okay? And they're going to eat most of the tariffs. Southern Draw has, and I think Roma Craft was the other one. Everybody else is like radio silence at this moment. And I think it's because largely we do not know what's going to be happening with tariffs to a profoundly large degree. So there's still so many question marks around this that cigar makers are kind of like trying to figure out their way through it. And this ain't their first rodeo either. There have been a lot of terrifying things that have happened in the cigar industry over the last just 10 years that I've been in it. And so these guys are figuring it out and they're talking with lawyers. Cigar companies spend a surprising amount of money on lawyers. You'd be shocked to learn how much, but they all have good lawyer friends to call. We will have more info about that coming up in the next couple of weeks. But so far, the details that have come out about this have not been that horrifying. What we still have yet to see is what is the long-term impact if tariffs stay the way they are on China to lighters, cutters, humidors, ashtrays, travel humidors, 3-finger carrying cases, all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So, stop
your
dropping
cigar bands.
your cigar bands. My gosh, stop dropping your lighters on the ground. That's what I'm saying. Just gingerly take care of them because you might need it to last a little bit longer than normal.
I don't know.
Cigar bands made in the U.S. Won't that take off? Finally.
Who knows? Terrence?
Not cigar bands, but cigarma bands.
Cigar bands, right?
Yeah. I don't even know very many fly fishers, but I don't think I ever met one who used one. But
all right, why not open a rolling factory here? Says Double Portion Farms. He's out there with his tobacco seeds, planting them in the ground right. He's like, I'm gonna get this.
Finally, my day is coming.
So if you open, this is just me speaking off the cuff. This is not me relating a bunch of data to you that you can go reference somewhere. I'm just telling you what I think. If you open up a cigar factory rolling cigars here in America, it would still cost substantially more at the end of the day for the cigars than it would to just pay the tariffs on the stuff coming from Nicaragua. And listen, the last thing you want to do is, and I've seen this, like you don't want to take advantage of disadvantaged companies or emerging companies. One of the reasons you see price increases every year from all the cigar makers is because they raise the prices of their employees and like they have sort of a natural inflation because they're bringing people up with them. But in countries like Nicaragua, the minimum wage there is $280 a month. Now, that's not what the cigar factories always pay. I think they pay above that for the cigar rollers there. But again, like the cost of having people roll cigars in Nicaragua is dramatically different than the cost of even paying minimum wage to roll premium cigars in America. If you opened a cigar factory here and you started rolling cigars here, your cigars would be more expensive. And I'll tell you this. There are factories that do this. El Titan de Bronze is one of them. The cigars that they make are pricier, but also they've got like all level 8 clerics rolling their cigar, level 8 Cuban cigar rollers, whatever they are. They're a wizard. I don't know. Like they're all top tier guys doing this who came out of Cuba. And so the quality of what they roll is up there. But at the same time, like there's no economy brands coming out of El Titan de Bronze. They specifically do artsy-fartsy artistic work there.
How many Five Guys burgers does the El Titan go for?
Like a solid, like a whole value meal, like the meal with the fries and the drink and all the stuff.
There we go.
Even JC Newman has the
American,
and that cigar is more than a 20 spot. So anyway, the tariffs are not. The other thing is this, there's not like cigar rolling jobs to bring back to America. Like a lot of the idea behind the tariffs was, we're going to bring this industry back to America. We haven't been rolling cigars in America for like 100 years.
Yeah.
And so it used to be that there were thousands of cigar factories in America. These cigar boxes sitting on top of my Billy's barrel back here are all 100 years old. The cigars in them were 5 cents a piece. and they come from like Pennsylvania and Virginia and stuff like that. Those back when cigar factories were like everywhere in the United States, especially over on the East Coast, you could find literally thousands of them. Those jobs are gone and it ain't coming back. And so
Not with that attitude. They're not.
I don't know. I think I know like 4 people who roll cigars, and I got to sit there and have the Avengers assemble if I want to get my factory off the ground. And you know how hard it is to uproot 4 men? You know what? That didn't come out right.
All right, let's Terrence is going to go figure out how hard it is to uproot 4 men, and we're going to dive into another comment. I want to get to the rest of these headlines because I got some good ones tonight. This one's from Sergeant Wags, USMC. Says, "What's the best cigar cutter you found?" I use a Calibri Deep V cutter when I, do cigars here in the studio. I'll tell you this: I cut my cigars with my fingernails a lot. I just like kind of pinch and twist the cap off. I really liked the Le Fin Lames cigar cutting knife. I kept losing mine. And
you gotta have like little kids have like their little strings on their mittens.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that you
Are
need
you
to
gonna
just
throw that to me? Or
No, I
How
don't
do
know.
you
Knife
do
fishing,
Throw
Sam.
it.
I was just showing you that I found it. I knew where it was
well,
at this whole
you want to
time.
show it to the camera so that I can tell everybody about it, so we don't have to
Yes,
throw a
please.
knife
I'll
across?
Vanna White it for
So
you.
yeah, that Le Fin Lames was that was a fun knife. The cigar cutting knife that's made over in France, that was a good one. I like the Jetline H steel cutter, although that thing is like that thing has been out of stock for like a year. They haven't had it, and now because of tariffs, it's even more of a complication. And then there's a couple Calibri straight cutters. There's a lot of good ones out there. Mostly I use my fingernails. If I want a nice deep V cut, I use a Calibri one. Okay. Anything on another comment, or we're gonna go to the next headline, Billy?
No, we're good. We can go.
Okay.
Terrence is like,
I
boo
fat
your
fingered that. I
comments.
fat fingered that. So
Wisconsin legislators introduced bills to allow new cigar bars to open. So if you are in the fine state of Wisconsin, where we've got people who are about to move to Wisconsin, be aware of this because legislators have only introduced this bill. So write to your congressman and say, please,
you
Can
get
I have
10% off.
can I have a cigar bar? Yeah. You know what? Write to the Congressional Cigar Caucus. See what they have to say about it. And the next big one, this is another state one for the fine folks of Indiana.
Yes, sir.
Indiana cigar retailers get the okay to sell cigars at events, restaurants, and can create smoking rooms.
Okay.
All right. So this is something that is expressly illegal in Arizona. And everybody has the idea. They say, you know what they say to me? They say, you know what you should do?
Boo.
They say you should make a van and like have a humidor in it and go to the Cardinal Stadium when the football games are going on and have cigars there at the Cardinal Stadium. And I'm like, other than the fact that there's a law prohibiting that from happening in this state, that's an idea that somebody would have already done if you're allowed to do it. But now in Indiana, retailers get the okay to have cigars at these events, which is spectacular. So I decided just very briefly, especially for our Indiana folks, if there are any Indiana cigar purveyors who watch this show, here's my own. You know what you should do. Now that you can go to events with cigars, you know what you should do? You should visit some of these very real events coming up in Indiana. If you're a purveyor, the first thing you should do is go to the Indiana Snake Meet and Greet that's happening at Brown
Terrence
County.
goes to other snake meat and grease.
All right, dude. Terrence's comeback on that one was good, but you got him. So if you haven't
made me
already,
eat a sandwich, yeah, there we go.
if you haven't already met, apparently this snake right here, you should go to the meet and greet for this snake and bring cigars with you. Weed stalker says, "Good Lord." All right,
That
the
snake
next
looks
one.
oddly familiar. I'm sorry. All right, next headline.
Next headline. They're also going on in Indiana, 2025 Indiana Women's Summit, which is happening August 28th. This is one of the prime events that you should go to, which, by the way, I pulled this one because of the description. The Indiana Women's Summit is dedicated to convening a diverse group of women who are passionate about collaborating to create positive change. Hear from local industry experts and thought leaders at this inspiring event. When they say industry experts, I don't know what they're talking about because it's just a women's summit. Like, what industry are you in? women's
industry.
women's industry.
They be out there.
Pass,
women
Scott
in-
Wolf.
Maybe they're all
Deborah
gynecologists.
Slaughter! She's like, let's go. All right. All right. If you guys listen, some of you guys said pass on the women's summit. I get it. But there's more going on in Indiana than just a snake meet and greet and a women's summit. Check this out. The National Eucharistic Pilgrimage 2025. If you have a cigar van, you might stop by that. If that doesn't float your boat, then maybe you should go to this event. There's a free mammogram screening at IU Health J. This is happening May 1st. Oh, shoot. We
It's
missed.
important that you learn how to do self-screenings.
Terrence is like, I can self-screen you.
There's a,
No. Hey. What? We can screen each other.
I think.
I would love to screen you,
All
Ryan.
right, bring your cigar van over to that. Also going
your
on in
lumpy
Indiana
carrots?
right now is the Indiana Dunes Birding Festival. Bring a cigar van down to the Birding Festival where they welcome all birders. Or
Bird your loins.
bird your loins. You could also join the family and youth and family birding. How many birding festivals are in Indiana? Is there anyone from Indiana who could tell me what's going on with birds up
My
there?
kids would lose interest in about 3 seconds at the birding festival.
All right.
Oh my God.
Well, if you live in Indiana, you now have the freedom to go to all of these things with a cigar van. Jimmy Hager says Billy does the screening on the ground with other men. That's
We're
true.
just checking each other for cancer.
There's a lot of guys who have gotten out of very scary blood test results because Billy's been aggressively cuddling them.
The struggle snuggle is what they've been calling it.
The struggle snuggle.
It's important to catch it early.
Oh my Lord in heaven. All right, we are going to come back to your comments and questions. Drop them down below. Put them in there. This show needs a safe word.
Oh,
from
don't
Nathan
worry. We
Mellows.
planned a new safe word
We
tonight.
did pick a new safe word. The only problem is you cannot say it on the internet. If we say it, it'll be the last thing we ever say.
Things have to be going south.
I'll give you
Like,
a hint at
But
what it is.
Deeper than the South, not American South.
I'll
but
give you a
really
hint at what it is. Terrence said it before the show. So there we go. All right.
I say a lot of things.
All right, let's keep cruising. Drop your cigar comments and questions down below. I want to touch on something very briefly with all of you because this is something that has changed. I'm going to give myself a little pat on the shoulder here, along with a very scary thing that is going to clarify this show for you guys. And I want to just be as blunt as I can with all of you here. And this is not like I'm messing around just trying to joke with everybody. This is a very real thing. Sometime last year, mid to late last year, I made a decision on this show that we've talked about more than a few times. It was the decision to no longer smoke on the show. And a lot of you guys have noticed that. Many of you have asked me about it. How come I never see anybody actually smoking a cigar anywhere on Cigars Daily channels? Not in my short form content, not in my long form pre-record videos, not on Cigars Daily Live. You won't see anyone puff on a cigar. And it's because I've said that when YouTube makes a new rule, they retroactively apply it backwards to the entire catalog that's on the channel. And I believe that at some point, a rule is going to come out where smoking on the camera is something that you cannot do. This week, I got a call from another content creator who's very worried because he got a channel strike because of a new rule I wasn't even aware of that YouTube has made regarding the cigar content, where you can no longer have any content that contains a regulated anything that you are what's my wording? Where you're showing the creation, use, or display of a regulated product. That is that is a literal wording of it, which means that cigar rolling videos technically not allowed. It means that puffing on a cigar, according to their rules, really not allowed.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail. It also means the display of a cigar is not allowed. Now, display is a variable term. So is use, really. But when it comes to what we show you guys on this channel, I want to be clear. There's a reason, Dirty Bird Bills, oh, good God. There's a reason that during this show, we've done what we've done to protect this channel. And to this point, it has been working. It doesn't mean it will always be working, but to this point it has been. But also, when I show you guys projects that are coming up, it is not my intention to ever do anything that would put our community in jeopardy. So when I tell you about like a new project, like tonight we're talking about Plasencia's Alma del Cielo. I'm going to show you some of the artwork associated with projects. I'm not going to display the cigar for you. I'm going to show you the artwork associated with the project. This is the family's legacy. This is really what's behind the community about the cigar. And so you'll get to see things like this, but when you wonder why it's starting to look different all the time, there's a reason why. And I go through this stuff painstakingly to be sure that our community is protected. You guys know that I'm working on a new project called Unkillable. It's about how working in the world of premium cigars is only for people who are basically unkillable. And all of the cigar makers that we love in this community are those people, especially the Plasencias. I love to go over the Plasencias, how much their family has lived through, how much they fought through, from communism in Cuba to the Sandinistas in Nicaragua and being driven out of the country in the 1980s, to today fighting against legislation and taxes in their own country and in ours. I mean, they do an amazing thing to stick with us. And we are going to stick with them, and we are going to stick together as a community right here. As a content creator on YouTube, I will do whatever I can to continue to create the best damn cigar content online for you guys, including being neutered in doing it. It doesn't bother me to do. I love you guys and the time that we get to spend here. And so last week, somebody posted a comment on the show. They're like, do you guys still talk about cigars on this channel? Our conversation tends to like stray away from cigars into stuff that seems more like it would get you canceled. We kind of have a good sense of what will get us canceled. And so I'm just letting you guys know, this is the reason that the after party exists. We will continue this show in a little bit. We're going to continue it here on YouTube and on Facebook right now. But in a little while, we're going to end the show, and we're going to continue it on Rumble and on the community on Cigars Daily Plus. Cigars Daily Plus is our own site where we stream this on our own servers. So there's no rules. Signing up is easy and free. It requires your name, a username, an email, and a password. And that's basically it. Like, that gets you in so you can enjoy this show and everything that we do without any guardrails, gutter rails. Like, you go to the bowling and they put up the gutter rails. Yeah. You can get a strike with us and go into the gutters with us as well. So just so you guys know, everything that we do here on this channel is with this end, to create and maintain the best cigar community online. And by the way, the largest cigar community online, and protect it from whatever the hell they want to do to try to distress.
Are you ready for the best comment?
I am ready, Billy.
I put some of them up, but
dude, my neck, I'm getting a headache from all this stuff, but it's good.
Good.
Will you take one and read one?
Deborah
YouTube sucks.
Slaughter.
Oh, really?
No, dude, Billy,
Come
you can't do
on.
that. Come on, dude. Yeah,
The
you're getting
studio audience.
This
booing
is
you.
just to be clear. This is the first time the studio audience has ever booed anything on this show ever. This
no,
is
no, 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 no. This is the. I almost got a knife in my back when I said the Diesel Vintage Natural was better than the Maduro. Now I'm getting booed for it, but
right,
this is like,
Billy,
this is monumental.
We need you to say Deborah's name again, please, for the love of God.
Do you think she's upset at me now?
Well, first of all, this is a man,
but
but also, yeah,
guy,
I think that was disappointing for everyone involved. So now, get after it.
Say it right. Say it right.
Deborah Slaughter. There you go.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
it's over there. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. All right.
Yes.
So disappointed. I don't think that disappointed was about the second one. The second one was, oh, here we go. I'm Deborah's husband. We hate Billy for nacho cheese. What
Jeremy, what are you doing?
He's got 2 accounts going now.
Yeah, Jeremy, what are you doing, bro? Stop.
Game in the system. Double Portion Farm says 9.5. I'll take it. I think Billy will too.
I'll take it.
All right. What was the comment now? I don't even remember what it was. Oh,
YouTube sucks. Eggplants.
There we go. All right. What's the next comment, Billy? Anything else that are other fantastic fans?
Yeah, is there anything going on other than just telling YouTube? All right. So no alcohol in any podcasts or anything either. Here's the thing. So we're going to talk about YouTube and the rules and guidelines here. And I'm just going to tell you what I know, which is reasonably very little. And if you ask anyone, what they're going to say is, I don't know. The rules are opaque. They change regularly. They always saying we're clarifying things more, but it just seems like the walls are closing in. Alcohol, like I don't think you can sit down and pop a bottle of Jack Daniels down, pour it into a glass and start shooting it. That would probably get you taken down. But if you're holding a scotch glass with a brown liquid in it and sipping on it and saying nothing, like, again, it's really depends on what you're doing. It depends on what the subject of that is. And so, it's something that we're going to have to review here pretty regularly, but that's the work that we do. What's the next one?
Rule that YouTube should have: Terrence isn't allowed to drink red wine.
Oh God,
Red wine?
Yeah.
We don't got to talk about that.
That's Gurkha's rule. That's a rule Gurkha has.
We're not on the after party. You're not allowed to say that, Tim. Oh my gosh, red wine and okay, sure. I'll abide by that rule easily.
Tony De Pierto, how does that cigar taste? Well, I'm not going to go into the cigar flavor, but here's what I'm going to do. We'll tell you guys about the experience that comes with Plasencia's Alma del Cielo at this time. Now, here's the big idea behind this project. The artistry of Alma del Cielo is really centered behind where the leaf was grown. And they haven't really been super specific on whether it's wrapper, binder, filler, or the whole cigar. It is a Nicaraguan puro. So it does use Nicaraguan wrapper, binder, all the way through the filler, like a lot of Plasencia cigars. But they've used a piece of land in the Condega region, which is a high altitude piece of land. I think they said, was it 3,600 feet?
3,500.
3,500 feet in elevation.
Meters.
It's high elevation crop. And so they're getting this relatively high elevation to create smoother leaf. Here's what I'll tell you. The cigar is incredibly smooth. It's got a satiating, very vibrant flavor, but just like a lot of Plasencia cigars, there's no imperfections to this flavor that gives you any kind of bitterness. I mean,
very smooth.
It's very smooth. It takes you to that 12-year double cask aged sort of like smoothness of flavor. Flavor notes in this cigar for me, there's a very subtle vanilla to this flavor, a nice almond and woodsy nose across the tongue, through the retrohale, not any kind of significant black pepper, not any real spice that grips the back of the throat. This would be almost a mild to medium strength for a cigar, but just overall, what you get from this is smoothness. And again, I think when I say smooth, some people want to think that smoothness means a lack of flavor, which is not the case with Alma del Cielo. Although I'm sure that people also want to hear the experience of other people sitting around the studio. So dive into it.
There's a sweetness on the aftertaste. Very smooth. No pepper at all.
Yep.
Did you ever figure out what that sweetness was? I asked Terrence.
So he says that it was I'd say it would be like a honey or like a honeysuckle kind of thing, because it's still like a floral cigar for me.
Did you just say honeysuckle?
Yes. You never ate honeysuckle as a kid, Tim?
Just the honey, just the actual honey itself. That was my thing.
No, it's like a little white flower. You pull the middle part and no? Okay, never mind. But
not much of a suckler, I guess.
That's not what your wife. No, no, but I determined that it was going to be like a honeysuckle or a honey, something like that. That's really sweet.
Subtle sweetness, like
it
stevia.
is floral.
Yeah. I would also say it feels like I just took a bite out of a York peppermint patty and I'm standing on top of it. No, I'm joking. But no, seriously, I definitely do like this cigar. The experience that this provides, I should say. I do get a little bit of floral. I get a little bit of woodiness. There's a bit of a sunflower seed shell flavor note.
What the hell?
I know.
You're chewing on sunflower seed shell.
I ain't chewing on nothing. I'm chewing on some good flavor. But yeah, like the last 6 or 7 puffs, I'm saying like sunflower seed shell.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Sunflower seed shell tastes like
I want to get a bag of sunflower seed shells and a bag of other seed shells and see if Terrence can tell the difference.
Right?
So you can't tell the difference between a sunflower seed shell and a pumpkin seed shell?
I don't think I could.
Do you sell seashells down by the seashore?
Sunflower seeds taste like salt because they're salty.
Have you never had a unsalted
wow, flower child power. Suckle nerd. Thank you, Rooster. Thank you. Very pointed. All right, I'm going to grab one
comment from Scott Wolt.
I'm going to grab one comment from Wheat Stalker. Are all the sizes hex pressed?
Hextos.
What he's talking about is the 6-sided pressed cigars, not box pressed. It's pressed into a hexagon shape. only the what did they just call it? The hexagon. What was the name of the size?
Oh, the Amanasir.
Listen, only the 6x60 size is pressed into that 6-sided shape. It takes them 6 months to press that cigar into that shape. And I assume that it's because of the girth and the ring gauge that they can press it into this 6-sided shape. But truth be told, I did not hear a word that you just said, Billy, but I'm sure the whole audience did. Yeah, they call it the 6-toe. Yeah, camping cigar. They call it the 6-toe, although the 6-sided shape of the Alma del Cielo is called something else. The
Amanasir.
Amanasir.
Because we have the Toro size, which is the bow reel.
Bow reel. All right.
We have some friends south of the border chiming in today. So I need your best Speedy Gonzalez voice for this.
Billy,
segment.
you set my man up for failure. I see that.
Which border are we talking about, Billy?
Canada. All right, man. Allison
people from
Swanson's
Michigan.
on. She says, I don't know why it's Adam Sandler from his CDs in the 90s. Okay, man.
My goat.
This is my wife. I'm actually getting to enjoy a Toscana this evening as I watch from the beach in Mexico.
Say what?
My wife is on all the women in my family go on a women's trip every year to Mexico. My wife, my sister, my mother, my cousin, my aunt, they all go down to Mexico. And they stay at a house for a week. My sister has a rental house down there. They stay there for a week. And so they're down there having a great time. And apparently there's internet, which is great. So
They got internet down there?
they got internet down there.
I'm so happy y'all asked that because I'm tired of being the ignorant one here.
Yes, Mexico has internet.
They got shoes and stuff too out there. I ain't never been down there.
Sure. Pretty sure. All right. Now, what was that the Speedy Gonzalez one?
Yes.
Because my wife is in
Mexico.
Mexico, you wanted me
Yeah.
to read that with a Mexican
I
accent?
did. Yeah, that was the goal.
You wanted me to appropriate my Mexican impersonation?
Well,
It's funny that Billy,
unfair.
that you said we have a comment from somebody south of the border. It's somebody that happens to physically be south of the border.
Yeah,
That's what
but
I'm
not
saying.
from the south of the border.
Well, Tim, in your old videos, you always used to say you grew up in a northern Mexican town called Tucson, Arizona. So
yeah,
you thought
it's
that you
northern Mexico.
Tucson.
Oh
Yeah.
boy,
Oh god.
she's starting to nag you.
Uh-oh.
From 400 miles
here we go.
away.
Tim says, the internet's great. There is great internet. Your sisters actually intentionally did that so that you could come and visit here, but you've not done that yet. That is true. My sister has a house in Mexico. I have not been there. She's only had it for like 8-ish years.
Even my wife has.
Hey,
been
Allison, make sure you pick up some good
Yeah.
Cubans for us down there.
Yeah, Billy's wife has also been there. Yeah, I actually asked her, honey, while you're in Mexico, please get me some of the fake Cubans.
They walk down the beach selling them. Get a box or two.
Give me a box of them because I want to make fun of them. Well, now that I can't display them, but I can say they're fake.
This is what a fake box looks like.
All right, let's keep going. Give me some cigar comments and questions. Drop them down below. We got a lot more to cover before we go to the after party on the community on Cigars Daily Plus and on Rumble. Tommy Ray-Ban says, any word on the AJ Fernandez factory fire? Big topic at my local B&M. So you guys saw AJ Fernandez factory did catch on fire. They did lose about 1 million cigars. They did lose boxes and bands, packaging for a lot of brands out there. I've talked about this. Affected brands include Southern Draw, Foundation Cigars, obviously AJ Fernandez cigars. But the cigar community came around AJ Fernandez in a tremendous way. Perdomo, I think my father, a lot of the factories pitched in and lent supplies, rolling tables, all the stuff that you need to basically put together a cigar rolling factory. AJ was back up and operational again in a period of like 8 to 10 days.
6 days.
6 days. Thank you. Even inside a week, he was back up. People were showing back up to work. Nobody was hurt. And so this is the huge benefit for AJ. Everybody made it out safe and okay, which is all they really wanted. Now they're back on top. I think the real issue in my mind is going to be the reproduction of a lot of the packaging stuff, making the boxes, remaking the bands. That's the work ahead of them. And I haven't heard much else other than that it's going to be a rough year for some brands, even outside of tariff stuff.
Yes, very much, unfortunately.
All right, Billy, take the next question for you and Terrence.
Me and Terrence. All right, let me find a good one. Oh, Terrence, this will be a great one for you.
Oh, all right. From Lil Spence 49. If you pinch off the cap with your fingernails, won't the cigar start unrolling? No, because shoulder integrity. And what I mean by that,
think of running over a nail in a tire when you go to a tire shop and they're like, if it's in the middle, it's repairable. If it's around the side, that's where you're going to have the issue.
Yeah, you don't
Same
want to
thing when
tear
you
off
cut a
the
cap.
sidewall of your
Right.
cigar.
yes,
cap.
exactly, right? So if you just use if you basically use your fingernail and only have a little bit of area like a punch, you don't punch your cigars and they come unraveled. There's still a little bit of cap, and then there's still the shoulder there. That's the goal that you want to do when you have your fingernail, when you use that as a cutter. And so it takes some practice. It took me about a year before I was able to do it as almost half decent as Tim does it. He does it extremely well, but it takes a little bit of finesse and finagling to do it, but you still want to make sure there's enough surface area, maybe a little bit of cap, but still keep that shoulder. I wish I could put a picture of one of these things up so I can show you.
I know.
But
Yeah.
yes. So as long as you're not going too far down to pinch off the cap, your cigar is not going to unravel.
The truth is, like when you cut a cigar, you want to cut as little off as possible. Is just a sliver off the top. It's about a dime's width.
Can you throw the camera on me?
Yeah.
So if you use this, it's too white.
Wait, maybe if I hold it. Okay,
The container of melatonin is too white.
it works on me too, guys. I just learned how auto white balance works. So anyway, let's say this is the cap of your thingamabob, right? Cigar. Your cigar. You only want to rip off a little bit like this, so that way you still have the shoulder, and then that's going to be the rest of the leaf wrapping around down the cigar. So that's as much as you want to take off if the cigar was gigantic, bigger than the woody. So yeah, just a little bit off the top.
That contrast makes it look like you're holding a spotlight.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I do the fingernail pinching the cigar thing off because even though I have in excess of probably 30 cutters
Likewise.
and 30 lighters on, in, and around my desk in my office, if I need one, I can't find it, whether it's a cutter or a lighter. And so what I end up doing, Terrence walks into my office and I'm just sitting there and I'm just doing this. I'm looking around for a lighter and I never have one. I always like bring a lighter in. I'm like, this is gonna be my lighter. And if I open my drawer, there's probably 10 lighters that have no fuel in them. So every once in a while I fuel them all up and then I lose them. That's the problem. So I use my fingernails.
Cigar privilege.
Yeah, I do. I have cigar privilege for sure.
You got that one lighter and that one can of butane. You'll make it both last.
You damn straight. All right, let's jump into a segment we do every week on this show called the Cigars Daily Nation Pick of the Week. Drop your cigar comments and questions down below. After this, we're going to come right back to them. I keep picking up this drink and then not drinking it and setting it down. Drop your cigar comments and questions. Billy's going to grab the best ones. I need to take you guys inside what's going on in the Cigars Daily Nation. The first thing you guys will know about is we are in the middle of a contest in the Cigars Daily Nation for the Agonorsa jacket packet. This is the daily edition jacket packet where people are getting the Agonorsa jacket tattoo, a temporary tattoo that they can put on and post a picture of it online and hashtag CD jacket in their post. They can do this on Facebook. They can do this on Instagram. And people have been doing it. What's going to happen is later this month, I'm going to pick a winner at random. One person is going to win a custom Agonorsa jacket of their own with their own writing on the back and their own numbers. And Terrence Riley from Agonorsa is similarly going to pick one winner, and that person is going to win a custom jacket from him. Only 200 of these tattoos are made. We're going to pick 2 winners, so your odds are a little better than 1 in 100. Now, I've seen some of these come up. Some of them have been a little inappropriate. Fortunately, this week, we've got a new submission, and I'm only going to show one of this week's submissions. We're not going to belabor this a ton. Do want you guys to know what's going on. This are still out there, but this one's from Bryce B. And you can see Bryce, he's put it on his forearm. He's sitting on his porch. His house is painted green. He is a ginger. And, well, I'm just trying to explain it for the podcast listeners, okay? He's a ginger. And I only say that because his entire comment on his post is hashtag CD jacket. Nice to be out of the shed.
Yeah, it's warming up around the rest of the country, Tim.
I was like, who's keeping this man in a shed?
Blink twice if you need help.
Do this. This is all you got to do. Are you okay, buddy? Ed Sheeran.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Put it back up there. That is a little bit Ed Sheeran-ish, isn't it?
Is he wearing a shirt or just sunburnt?
Oh my.
So the shirt.
And we lost his subscription.
Yeah, there we go. He's out of
Oh my
there.
gosh.
Yeah, there is no. There's
So
no
will
way to
his
avoid-
jacket say Ed Sheeran on the back?
if he wins, I got one Ron Weasley.
I gotta keep putting the picture. Oh my
Yeah, there you go.
gosh. Why do they all work?
Burn
He needs
from
to be
John
burned.
Weiss. Okay, dear God. The next one. This one is from a member of the Facebook group here. Bill G says, made it to Ybor City and the Grand Cathedral Lounge today. What a cool experience. And he's here with a Carlito Fuente full-sized bobble big-headed statue. And it really made me think, like, is this something we need to invest in?
That head don't
Yes.
look like a bobble.
It doesn't bobble, but it's a big head.
But we'll make ours bobble.
Yeah. I
We'll
mean, is this, I'm getting, yeah, Jimmy's nodding. Okay. Do we need to do a big statue thing?
We'll put a nice little gap in that tooth and it'll just be
Making a cigar rest.
Trust me, dude. I've thought about it. Thought about all this stuff. All right. We got one more of these. And then which one is Bill? It's hard to tell. Hard to tell. Look at them. They're both so handsome. This one's from Z. Z says, today's delivery was a special one. One step closer to that cigar room build out. Can't wait. Now, the picture here, he's got a rabbit air, which is, I think, the sort of the golden standard for smoke eating. But then what he's also got here is these Cloudline T6 like evacuating fan with heavy duty tubing and ducting.
what's he doing with that tubing? With a lot of suckers.
It's a
going
lot
on.
of suckers. There's a lot of suction power in those things. He looks like he's going to build out a real smoke evacuation system, which is totally the difference between smoke eating and smoke evacuation. Some smoke eaters really just scrub the air and clean the air, but smoke evacuation swaps the air. It takes out smoky air and it brings in unsmoky air. And that is, three of those things is a seriously heavy duty system. So I just want to say to Z, please keep us posted on this.
I would love to see
I would
this,
very
yeah.
much like to follow up and see what this is going to turn into. This seems like something really substantial and special.
If you've got a
We'd like
toupee on there, it'll just
Right. All I'm saying is, as well, I'm gonna be behind the picture. Sorry, Billy. You're just gonna have to react to this. I've never seen a white rabbit air until right now.
That's true.
I didn't know they came in different colors.
Terrence, that's very small-minded of you.
I know.
ain't never seen a rabbit ear that's white. All right,
I
sorry.
done seen a house fly.
That was a Dumbo impression. Dear God, we're so close to the after party here. We can do it. We can do it. Terrence being racist from Heezy. Wow. Okay.
You know what? Let's just go to the.
All right. Let's keep cruising. Any more cigar comments and questions? What? Dottie Racing says, what do you mean, you people? Oh, goodness gracious.
Do
Billy,
we have any
get us a
cigar
cigar
related
comment
comments,
question,
Billy?
please.
Yeah, we got some.
Can we talk about
Oh, God.
cigars for the last 8 weeks?
Jimmy J says, will you be reviewing the Agonorsa jacket cigars? So that remains to be seen. I don't know what the future of cigar reviews is, given the guidelines from YouTube that I talked about before. In order to tell you about a cigar and do it without using it and without displaying it and without creating it, I'm going to have to do some specific things in order to survive. I have to rework what a cigar review looks like and do it in a way that is still clear, concise, and compelling and creates value. It still has to be the best damn cigar content online. So I don't know. And if I do that, it won't be until I figure out all those answers to those questions. Yes, the answer to that is yeah. Can you post it on Rumble? I can. But the more people go over to Rumble, the more that I can do stuff like that. Because right now, like, here's the bottom line. Like, listen, I some people are saying like YouTube, yeah, like Mike says, YouTube sucks like an Orec vacuum.
Those things are legit. I'm not even
Listen,
gonna lie.
I'll say this. I get it. I get what you guys are saying. Some of you are watching this show on Rumble right now. Some of you are watching it on YouTube. Some of you are watching it on Facebook. You're watching it on Plus. YouTube is just it's the main outlet for this stuff. It's the main place people go to do this. And people aren't going to stop using YouTube by and large. And so you can do stuff just for Rumble. And I have a video shot just for Rumble and for Cigars Daily Plus. And I have to see what the economy of scale is for all this stuff. So that being said, we are going to be heading to the after party on Rumble and on Cigars Daily Plus in just a couple of minutes, right after we take a couple more comments from you guys.
There's a comment that I'm worried about.
I'm worried about that comment too.
Let's put it up.
I don't. Okay. Theodore.
All right.
Theodore says, "See the." I'm gonna read this.
Do you need me to read this, Tim?
Yeah, Terrence, read it. Put it on Terrence.
Okay. It's from Theodore Will Fong II. See, the racism is why I'm supposed to kidnap Terrence for. The fishing is just
Fishing.
The fishing is just reprogramming. What is fishing?
I think he might. I think he wants to kidnap you and take you fishing to reprogram.
To reprogram.
Are you good on boats, Terrence?
No, I don't know
What
how
are
to
we
swim.
reprogramming Terrence to
See,
do?
this just sounds like this is why I'm not nice to like older ladies in Scottsdale because I'm scared I'm gonna end up in somebody's basement. Like, are you gonna wear me as a suit next, Theodore? Oh my gosh!
Listen, we need to protect Terrence. I think at all costs. Every once in a while, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Every once in a while, you meet somebody that you're like, oh, and these guys are familiar with this. You're like, this person wants to wear my skin. And in 10 years of doing this stuff, I've had that experience more than a couple of times. Like you meet somebody and afterwards you're like, that was an uncomfortable, awkward situation. So we're gonna protect Terrence, keep him safe.
Ryan, will you start walking Terrence out to his car every night?
I do every day already. I gotta
Thank
make sure
you,
he
Ryan.
gets
Put
to
him
his
in
car
there, give him a little kiss on the head, and send him home at night.
every day.
And always check the back seat.
Wait, you guys just do that every time you get in your car? No, that's just me.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's probably just you.
Okay.
All right. Dirty Bird Bill says, Terrence, I got your back. What he means is he wants to wear it. He wants to wear it like a suit. I'm just kidding.
So that's why my back is so raw
He's calling
right
out
now.
the parts he wants. Wants his divvied up. I got your back.
I called dibs on his back.
Oh boy. All right. Dear God. Jimmy Hager says, too hot in AZ to hide in the back seat.
It's true.
It is
From
true.
about now until about November.
We're getting there. We're getting to that point of heat. All right, guys. I want final thoughts on Alma Del Cielo, the experience with this cigar. As we're all, I don't know what, halfway in, 2/3, right before we go to the after party and the show really comes to life. Go for it,
Ryan.
Yummy and smooth. I know we've talked about smooth, but it's smooth like Tim said earlier. It's smooth, but with a lot of, for me, a lot of complexity. Like it's just not it's smooth to be smooth. It's smooth, but great flavors, and I like this thing. And Tim, you said earlier you don't know which part of it. I thought I read somewhere where it was the filler leaf.
I thought it was majority of the filler leaf.
That's fine. That's good.
Billy, are you getting anything substantial out of it?
I get sweetness out of it, and
Yep.
it definitely has a different taste that I've not experienced before.
See,
It's got
sunflower
something
seed shells.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with that part too. There's a new taste to this.
I am not saying sunflower seed
Not the
shells
same
as a flavor note ever.
You read
I'm
it.
not
you can read
gonna do
a
it.
review from a well-known website where they're like, "Oh, I'm getting
Nope.
notes of potato chip and pencil lead." Like,
Listen, just the fact that Charlie Minato is willing to reach down into the depths of the bag of the English literature to whip out flavor notes with made-up words in them does not mean that sunflower seed shells should be a flavor note.
but it is though.
Weed stalker, don't encourage this stuff.
Oh
Sunflower seeds confirmed.
I've experienced taste and I can relate. I can connect the dots and it makes sense. That's why I said it. I know it sounds crazy. I'm the weird cigar nerd. It just happened to play out like that, and that's what I'm conveying. I love this thing. I'm enjoying it. I actually really like this Toro size. So I want to know I'm a Nasser offers, because there's more of that tobacco that would be able to offer more of this unique characteristic. And I'm not saying that it's only sunflower seed shells, but this is a very holistically different thing that I've ever had from Plasencia.
Michael Tomberlin says, I've heard it's like Andalusian Bull in that it's unique. This is not the gentleman we were speaking with earlier today, right, Terrence?
That was somebody that we were speaking to today. Yeah.
He was here.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. Because this is
no. That guy was somebody different, not the one leaving this comment.
So this is the second time I've heard this, that the Alma del Cielo is a dead ringer for the LFD Andalusian Bull. And I'm interested to see if more people draw that comparison, because Andalusian Bull is like one of the most like hunted down cigars in the industry. Even it got Cigar of the Year back in 2016. And ever since then, it's been one of the like hardest to find cigars out
Holy
there.
Grail. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the like ungettable sticks. And so if there's a Plasencia cigar that is that, that level of quality, I think that it bears well for the brand. Okay. Listen, we're going to head over to the after party now. I'm going to stop minding my P's and Q's. We're going to have an amazing rest of the show. Join us by going to Rumble, log in or do whatever you do on Rumble to watch more of this episode. Learn more about what we're talking about with the art and artistry of Plasencia's Alma del Cielo. And also join us on the community on Cigars Daily Plus. Creating an account there is easy and free to do. It requires your name, a username, an email, and a password, and that's basically it. Gets you in, and you can also enjoy this show along with our content there. Keep cigars free and enjoyable by the community and the nation out there by being a part of our community over there. Thank you guys for joining us. Otherwise, God willing, join us for another great episode next Monday night. This is Tim and the crew headed to the after party. We'll see you guys there.
And live your lives.